Hey YouTubers, how are you today? This is Ingrid from the Netherlands again, aka Rocking Lupa, and this is actually my second video for today. I already made a new vinyl and CD finds video before this video, and yeah, maybe you already watched that video, and I hope you like that. But I also wanted to do a response to the very first thread by LonglostLPman, and yeah, it's really cool, LonglostLPman, to have you back here on the VC, the vinyl community, and you know, you didn't make videos for a very long time, but yeah, you know, and we of course all know, you know, it has its reasons, and but yeah, we're very happy. I definitely think we're all very happy to have you back here in the VC. So awesome. Yeah, you're making new videos again. You know, it's really really cool to see those new updates again. And yeah, and very cool, you started your first thread, and yeah, it's those are really wonderful questions, and yeah, so I try to give a good answer to those, okay? And you know, because yeah, first of all, English language isn't of course my mother language, you know, and so, and yeah, I know to you know, I can speak and I can understand English, but of course, yeah, you know, and sometimes it's very different. It's very difficult to express, you know, in the way you really want to, if you know what I mean. Because you know, you want to say something, and but you don't know the words or how to express that, or you know, that kind of thing. So then that's also the reason why I don't respond to all the you know, the threads here in the VC, because sometimes it's very difficult to explain and express, you know, yeah, several things, if you know what I mean. But you know, I try my best, and yeah, and I hope yeah, yeah, I try my best, and I hope to answer those questions as good as possible. Okay. Well, so LonglostLPman, the very first question. I've written it down because you know, it's easier to you know, to remember. So the very first question by LonglostLPman was, is there a song, an album, or even a genre that you just absolutely cannot get out of your head right now? Either, you know, album, or just out of your turntable or CD player, and or you know, songs you hear on the radio, etc. Well, to be honest, I'm completely music minded the whole day, kind of, and yeah, I have that already since I was very young, and so music, you know, it's really really very important to me. And yeah, I just I also have a very wide taste in music, so I really listen to you know, really many genres. So, and but when you check my music collection, so these are my records, but downstairs in the living room we have our CDs, and but to be honest, there are CDs all over the house here. But the most CDs are in the in the living room. But when you check that collection, you will see they're represented very really many different genres. So pop music, blues music, classical also sometimes, and yeah, soul music, but mainly rock oriented music, and of course especially hard rock, metal music. Me and my husband are in a hard rock band. It's called After the Silence, and yeah, I promised to do a kind of video about my band very soon, and I really will do that very soon. But not today. Today it's very hot here in the attic, so yeah, the sun is very shining bright again today. So, and I'm afraid that again that the temperature will raise quite higher. So I will shoot this video, and after that I will move to the backyard and and enjoy the very nice weather today. So, but well, so I'm in a band together with my husband, and we're in a melodic hard rock band, After the Silence. You can check us out on www.afterthesilence.nl. That's our official website, and you can also find several links to social media like Facebook, Twitter, and you name it, those kind of things, and YouTube channel also, and so you can listen to music and everything. So and maybe you think it's nice to check that out also. And but so yeah, so we are listening to yeah, really many several genres of music, but you will definitely see that mainly the hard rock genre is really represented big in our collection. And yeah, so I'm not really much of a disco fan, but I do play some like Bee Gees or Kool and the Gang, those kind of music. But Earth, Wind and Fire, also a very great band. But yeah, the most music in our collection is very guitar oriented, and yeah, so very rock influenced. And but to get back to your question, is there yeah, a song or an album yeah, that's currently in your mind or in your head or you're playing all the time? So yeah, I listen to music the whole day, and I really absorb all those things the whole day constantly. Even at my work, I have ears in my, to listen to the radio or something. And so music is very important to me, and yeah, there are some songs that stick to my mind, for yeah, few days or few weeks, or and then but there's not really an album which is currently remaining in the CD player the whole time or something. It's always yeah, a little bit of everything. So, but yeah, for example, a CD which was yeah, currently played a lot by as well my husband and me the last few weeks. It's by Gary Moore, and it's the Platinum collection. This is a 3 CD set, and well, this contains the the rock songs, and the second CDs are the blues songs, and the third CD contains live recordings. So yeah, it's a very nice compilation CD box set, and yeah, we both do like Gary Moore really a lot, and yeah, it's very sad that he passed away last year, and definitely think he was one of our the greatest guitarist of our generations, and yeah, it's really sad we lost him, and yeah, I was really the day that I heard he passed away, it's I was really really confused and really sad, and wow, I was really quiet that day, to be honest, and yeah, it's a big loss in also the rock world, and I already listening to Gary Moore since my teenage years, so yeah, his music really means a lot to me, and so, but this was yeah, this was also in our car playing the whole week, so yeah, so this is one of our current yeah, the things we played a lot. Another CD which is very often in the CD player now, it's a quite new album I bought not long ago. It's a new album by a Dutch singer, Bertolf. I already showed you in one of my latest video updates, and especially like the song Mary. Yes, it's a really cute, yeah, really wonderful little song, and you should check that out on YouTube maybe also. And also one of those artists, upcoming Dutch artists, who is really gonna make it in the future. And so this is yeah, it's a little bit sounding like Beatles, a little bit West Coast influences, but yeah, definitely he has his own musical style, and I think this is his best release until now, so really recommend it. Bertolf. Yeah, what's always currently, yeah, what's basically always in my CD player, I'm listening to that music a lot. I just picked a few because I have a lot more CDs and albums by this man. It's by Brian Setzer. So I picked his CDs as an example to show you, but yeah, I could have picked also other albums by Brian Setzer, but I'm a really big Brian Setzer fan. Of course, you maybe if you're not familiar with him, he was one of the members for the Stray Cats, and of course they played a sort of neo rockabilly music, and but Brian Setzer, I also visited a concert, Brian Setzer and this orchestra, and yeah, I really like that music, and I definitely think Brian Setzer is a great musician and a great guitarist also. So yeah, he plays the guitar really great, awesome guitarist, and yeah, so I like that music, and for some reason it's always I play that music a lot, so it's very often in my CD player. So Brian Setzer. Another album which I listened really a lot. It's Hopes and Fears by Keen. I already showed you their latest release in the former video, and you know, and so you should check that out if you didn't do that before. But yeah, of course, their very first album, Hopes and Fears, it's this one, and I really like that music. And again, yeah, I already told you that in the former video, but for the people who just didn't check that video out, there are a lot of people who really sort of hate Keen, but yeah, you know, I like the 80s kind of music. Yeah, the 80s kind of vibe in their music. You know, they remind me a little bit of Simple Minds and U2. You know, how they sounded in the 80s, sort of. So very yeah, epic kind of yeah, epic kind of way in making music. And so this album, of course, it contains songs like Somewhere Only We Know, and This Is the Last Time, Bend and Break, you know, Everybody's Changing, you know, all those kinds of really beautiful songs. And yeah, this was already released in 2004. But it's still one of those albums I really play a lot, and I really like the sound of this. The second album I bought it also quite recently, but it's more, yeah, it's changed a little bit in sound, and I'm back. I'm really glad that the latest release, so Strangeland, also from King. They are back to their roots, kind of, you know. So it really has the same kind of sound again, like their debut album, and I'm really happy for that. So this is music I really play a lot, and and also I don't have it on CD right now, so it's downstairs in the living room. So I just grabbed the LP very fast. Also, this is one of my favorite albums. One of those everlasting favorite albums in time, you know. Of course, this is the Joshua Tree by U2. And especially the song Where the Streets Have No Name. You know, it's so big, it's so huge. It's I've been to a concert from U2 in Amsterdam. It was in the arena, it's called, in the stadium, and yeah. So actually, it was my very first U2 concert, and it was for the Vertigo tour, if I'm not wrong. So I guess it was 2005 or something like that, and especially when they performed that Where the Streets Have No Name song, you know, it's so, and then with the light show and everything, and it's so big, it's so epic, and like you're in the middle of, you know, in the music or something. I don't know how to explain that, but yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite U2 songs. And of course, still haven't found what I'm looking for, which is of course almost kind of gospel kind of song, you know. And With or Without You, Bullet the Blue Sky, and you know, it's a very great album. And yeah, it's one of those albums, maybe they're released already, you know, a few years ago, but somehow there are some albums who still remain, you know, and you still play that a lot. So other albums, I also played this album a lot for the last months. It's really a lot in my CD player. It's Don't Explain by Beth Hart and Joe Bonamassa. And of course, Joe Bonamassa is a very great guitarist, and Beth Hart has that really deep, you know, raw and strong voice, and very soulful. And I really like that kind of female singers, you know. Also like Bonnie Raitt, for example, or you know, and Pat Benatar, or you know, those kind of singers. I really like that. So they have really soulful voices. And yeah, for example, on this album they're all covers, by the way, but yeah, the really great versions of that covers. And for example, they did on this album a cover by Etta James, and the song Something's Got a Hold on Me. And if you have the chance to check that out on YouTube, please do, because you know, yeah, I definitely think Beth Hart really did a great job in that singing that cover. It's they made us such a yeah, something like a it's almost like black gospel, you know. When you hear that song, you almost imagine you're in a black gospel church or something like that, you know. And it's really, yeah, really great job, and I like that. It's really yeah, they put really much musical passion in this album. So really recommended album also. So it's called Don't Explain by Beth Hart and Joe Bonamassa. It's from released this year in the end of last year. Yeah, here's 2011. So yeah, in the end of last year, beginning of this year, and yeah, it's a wonderful album, really stunning album. Yeah, what do I play a lot? Also, yeah, you heard that in the former video on the LP, but of course I also have it on CD. It's Ghost Opera by Camelot. So yeah, this is not the latest release, it's already released before that, and it's still one of my favorite Camelot albums, Ghost Opera. It was released in 2007 already, and yeah, it has a bonus CD also. And yeah, this is it's a CD and a DVD actually, but this has been in my CD player for a really long time. I couldn't get enough of it, and still when I play this, you know, it's such a stunning album. And yeah, so if you are into hard rock, very melodic, yeah, it's almost yeah, I don't know if you can call it gothic music, really. It's more symphonic hard rock, also in the classical. They have classical music influences, and yeah, it's very difficult to explain what this music is about, and you really have to check this out if you are not familiar with this. Unfortunately, the lead singer Roy Khan, he left the band, and so yeah, that's not yeah, I really hate that to be honest, because I think yeah, he was a very great singer, but yeah, he left the band. And so I'm very curious what Camelot is going to do in the future, if they will have a new singer, and yeah, how he's gonna sound like. And you know, all those kinds of, yeah, and those kind of questions are going through my head. So I'm very curious what Camelot is gonna sound like in the future. But yeah, in the meantime, Camelot is still, and especially this album, so Ghost Opera, is one of my, yeah, everlasting yeah, favorite albums, which I'm playing very often. So yeah, so those are yeah, and also yeah, I sometimes have downloads on my computer which I play a lot, so yeah, separate MP3s, you know, so not complete albums. And for example, you know, there is a Dutch singer and her name is Birgit Lewis. I am really so enthusiastic about Birgit Lewis. And you know, it's one of those, so I have an album, it's her first and her only album she released. So this is the Birgit Lewis. I hope it's visible enough. And this was the album Finally. It was released in 2007 already. So it's high time that she will release a new album again. Yeah, it's a year ago. And so this is Birgit Lewis. She's a big black woman, but yeah, I really love her voice. I almost compare her to big singers like Chaka Khan. You know, she has that really strong voice and really soulful and almost a gospel kind of you know, influences, and yeah, it's one of those singers who sings with her heart and soul and sings with her whole body, and you know, it's so wonderful. And Birgit Lewis is you know, she started as a backing vocalist actually, and you know, when I hear her singing now, I definitely think it's one of those things, you know, that you think to yourself, how is it possible that someone with such a big voice once was a back vocalist, you know? It's, you know, it's one of those people who has such a wonderful voice, and you don't want to put that away in a backing vocalist group, you know. They have to be you know, they have to be on front, if you know what I mean. And so, and yeah, and there's a TV show here in the Netherlands, and with several Dutch artists who are singing songs from each other. So, you know, one artist sings this song from another Dutch artist, and you know, and so in that show also Birgit Lewis appears, and one of those the latest tracks, and I downloaded it from iTunes, which you know, I'm not downloading from iTunes a lot because yeah, I really prefer to have the real CD, you know. I just want to have a real yeah, CD box or on vinyl, or you know, and I'm not very fond of downloads. But unfortunately, the songs Birgit Lewis releases the last years, they don't appear on an album, you know, and so yeah. I don't have any other choice to download it than from iTunes, and so the latest release on iTunes, and it's also coming from that TV show which I told you about, and it's the song And I Am Telling You. I will put a download I will put I will add a link to that video from that show down under my video, and you can check that out. And I'm really asking you your opinion about Birgit Lewis. It's a Dutch singer, and you know, I really think she deserves that international career. You know, I really think that. And you know, it's almost a shame that these kind of artists are not getting the opportunities they deserve here in the Netherlands. You know, it's one of those artists. I really think that how is it possible that an artist with such a big, stunning, wonderful, incredible voice, how is it possible that those kind of artists only have the opportunity to release just one album? You know, I just I think these kind of artists deserves it to, you know, when I go to the local record store, they should have a whole, you know, entire collection. You know, they should have you know, so many more releases on album. You know, if you know what I mean. Again, I don't know how to explain that in English, but I'm sure you know what I'm trying to say. You know, I really think she deserves to have to. I really think Birgit Lewis deserves to get more releases. You know, really, and it's one of those underrated singers here. I definitely think, and it's really a shame that record companies don't give those kind of artists the opportunity to you know, to get more to yeah, how do you say that, to, you know, to explore, to get bigger, to grow, and you know, to promote those artists. It's yeah, and I definitely think Birgit Lewis is someone who really deserves that. I really mean that. And I also think sometimes to myself, Birgit Lewis is much too big for just the Netherlands. She should really yeah, you know, they should really release albums also outside the Netherlands, because she really, you know, as I already said, you could almost compare her to Chaka Khan, those kind of big singers. And you know, it's really wonderful what she does, and how she sings. And you know, check out that video. I just add a link to that video below my video. Okay, check that out and let me know what you think about her. Okay, so yeah, so that's kind of music. LonglostLPman's very long answering to your question. So that's the kind of music I just yeah, listening to. And of course I listen to a lot more music, but you know, I just had to pick a few. So, and so those kind of music I'm listening to. Then your second question, how has the economy or your current money situation impacted your personal buying habits? Yeah, to be honest, I really buy too much, and I really want to change that, because you know, yeah, we all know that the economy worldwide yeah, it's really bad, and I think it's gonna be worse even. And you know, especially in the Netherlands, the politics, yeah, you know, I don't know what they are planning to do, but you know, but for example, next year, how is it called in English? We call it BTW, but in English I guess it's value added tax, you call that. Now these days it's 19%, but next year they will you know, turn that to 21%. So everything in the shops and everything is gonna be much more expensive. And so I definitely think more and more also Dutch people yeah, are gonna be in trouble, you know, in financial problems, because they just can't afford yeah, also the basic things like food and clothes and you know, things for your health, and going to the doctor, and you know, hospital, and you know, those kind of basic things also. And yeah, it really worries me somehow, and because I don't know where it's gonna end. You know, it's going further and further, and yeah, so I think yeah, it's better to ease down a little bit in also buying records, you know, because yeah, again, I don't know what the future brings, you know, and I think the economy is only gonna be worse. And so, and you know, yeah, I'm married and I have 2 children, and so life is quite expensive these days. So yeah, you know, it's yeah, I just can't afford to spend that much money to records or CDs. And yeah, I already said also to LonglostLPman that CDs and records here in the Netherlands are quite expensive. When you want to buy a new CD, you have to pay about you know, 17, 18 until 20, 23 euros, you know, for just a new album or a new LP, so a new vinyl releases. So not I'm not talking about second-hand. So these are the new vinyl releases, are about 23 until 30, 40 euros or even more. So that's quite expensive, and I just can't afford that, you know. There are a lot of albums I just would like to have, but I just know I just can't afford that. So I just have to let that go. And yeah, that's a pity, but you know, that's the reality. And yeah, and yeah, and of course also because of the economy, it's only gonna be worse. So I really have to ease down more and more in buying records. And I also, you know, think more about that in the future for the VC. You know, what I don't know what this is gonna mean for the VC in the future, when more and more people are not able to buy records again, or not as much as they used to, you know. And maybe when you're single, also when you're not married yet, when you don't have a relationship, when you live on your own, so you don't have any other, you know, things to yeah, so you don't have any other how do you call that, expenses of costs, you know. You don't have many other things to spend money, you know. And but you know, yeah, for people who just have a family, they are living with you know, children and everything, and you're living in a house, and you know, it's I think it's going to be much more difficult, and especially in the near future. And I've been thinking about it, and yeah, so I definitely think I'm not able to buy as much records in the future as I did before, you know. And yeah, I'm thinking about that, what I will do then in the future for the VC, when I don't have new and when I don't have as much vinyl and CD updates as before, you know. If you know what I mean. And maybe you have ideas or tips, you know, ideas to yeah, maybe we can do other kind of videos, like showing your current collection, or you know, maybe other kind of videos than only showing your new updates, if you know what I mean. Because I definitely think more and more people in the near future are not able to you know, to show their new pickups, because they are not able to buy new stuff, you know. And so I think it's a good thing to think about that, and maybe you know, you can maybe you have some ideas about that, and how we can how we are gonna change that for you know, future videos in the future, if you know what I mean. So maybe you have ideas about it, and can tell me what they are, and you know. So yeah, yeah, I still do buy records, but to be honest, I already slowing down a little bit in buying records. So yeah, so which will mean maybe that I'm gonna post lesser you know, videos in the future. So if you have ideas to do something different in videos for the VC, you know, please let me know. That would be really nice. So yes, the economy is definitely influencing the, you know, the habits, the buying habits, or how do you call that? So well, those that was question 2. Question 3. What is on your wish lists you currently? Are there releases that you're looking forward to? Oh yes, there are. You know, always. Yeah, there are always albums and music. There's always music on my wish list. But again, yeah, CDs and albums, especially the new albums, are quite expensive here in the Netherlands. So yeah, and so I always wait for nice prices, or you know, discounts, or second hands, or you know, because I just can't afford to buy new. I can't always afford to buy new albums, and yeah, that's also why I sometimes download the album first. Yeah, sorry, I know it's not legal, but you know, especially I'm for example, I'm a huge AOR fan. You know, I really like to listen to AOR music, but yeah, it's one of those musical genres which is not yeah, it's very bad available here in the Netherlands. For example, yeah, I'm a huge Jolyn Turner fan. You know, the lead vocalist Jolyn Turner. He also sang once for Rainbow, for example, and for Ingrid Malmsteen. You know, those kind of acts. But he also does some other projects, side projects. Among others, a few years ago he did a project together with Glenn Hughes. You know, and yeah, I still think he's an amazing singer. And but now he also has the project Sunstorm, for example. These are albums I downloaded, yeah, to be honest. And yeah, but of course I'd rather like to have the original copies, but the original copies are really hard to get here in the Netherlands, and when it's available it's mostly not in the regular stores, so you have to buy that online. And these kind of albums are always import, and import CDs are about, you know, they start with about 40 euros for just one CD, you know, and you know, those are really ridiculous prices, and I just can't afford that. So, and you know, I really refuse to pay such a lot of money for just a CD. It's really insane. And so, and yeah, so I'm always looking on you know, for example eBay or Discogs or something like that, and look around if I can get this kind of CDs, you know, cheaper. You know, much cheaper than 40 euros. It's just insane. And but still, these kind of albums are very hard to get, also on the eBay, and when they are available, people are bidding very much high prices for that. So, you know, again, it's too expensive for me. But yeah, those are kind of albums I would really like to have. And for example, again, I really like to listen to Firewind a lot. And this is, for example, also a download CD. But yeah, I definitely want to buy an original copy in the near future, you know. And but yeah, I just can't afford to spend so much money in just you know, in a very short time. So I have to wait until yeah, I'm able to buy one. And so yeah, it's yeah, of course I would like to have it, but yeah, I have to I've got to have a little more patience, I guess. So yeah, yeah, and of course what I'm really looking forward to is, among others, the new album by the Swiss band Gotthard. And of course you all know that, or the people who are familiar with Gotthard, 2 years ago their lead singer Steve Lee, he passed away very suddenly because of a motorcycle accident. You know, and but they were on a holiday. He was on a holiday with friends, and they were they were on the side of the road actually, and there was a truck, big truck, coming, and that truck hit the motorcycle, and the motorcycle, you know, that hit Steve, and so that was the cause of his sudden death. And he was really too young, and of course, and and his voice was so very much important to the music by Gotthard. And so the other band members, of course it was a very difficult choice, but of course they have think it over to, should we quit with the band or should we continue? And they chose to do the last thing. So yeah, they looked for another lead vocalist, and with that new lead vocalist they recorded a new album now, and I think it's going to be released the 1st of June, if I'm not wrong, and it's called Firebird, if I remember that well. And of course, so I'm very curious what it sounds like, because I have the entire collection by Gotthard almost, and I'm a huge fan, and I like that AOR melodic hard rock kind of music that they play. And it's I don't know what it's gonna sound like with a new singer, so I'm very curious for that, and so I'm very much looking forward to that new album, for example. And but there are always albums which I would like to have, and especially on vinyl. I would like to have the Gautier album on LP, for example, but I already have it on CD. But the LP, so the vinyl version, is still about more than 30 euros or something, and then I still think it's very expensive. So I'm just not able yet to buy something like that, but there always there's always music which is on my wish list actually. So and I also heard that Ryan Shaw, so the American singer, he sounds a little bit like sometimes Sam Cooke or Jackie Wilson kind of soul singers, He sounds like that, and I heard on the radio last week that he is going to be release a new album. So I'm also very curious for that, and so I could go on and on. It's I'm I just really like I'm really addicted to music, you could say. So I could listen to it the whole day, and there will always be things on my wish list, basically. So those were my answers to those 3 questions. It's a quite long video, but I hope you liked it. And it's again, it's going to be very warm here today, so it's high time to leave you here now, and going downstairs, have a little drink, because I'm very thirsty. And that's what I'm going to do. So, and in a few minutes, and again, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and so Sunday and Monday is going to be with sun. So I hope you all have a wonderful holiday, and yeah, I hope you have a great time also, everybody. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's all for today and for this weekend, and I hope to be back soon. Yeah. Long Lost LP Man, thank you for the wonderful thread. It was really awesome, and I hope yeah, I could answer your questions as good as possible. Yeah. So let me know what you think about it, and yeah, have a great time, everyone. Yeah. Bye bye, my friends. See you soon.